The heritage attractions in Milton Keynes, in my opinion, are very good for business. Businesses employ people, and it's not just a question of having a job, but it's a question of the quality of life.
People's jobs depend very much upon the heritage mix that we have in Milton Keynes because it brings in tourists. It also gives gravitas to the town.
There's something important about heritage that makes a place attractive for people, for work, rest and play. So I think we need to make sure we make the most of what we've got.
I find it really exciting when heritage and education fuse together. It brings to life the curriculum. It makes sense of history. It's immediate. They can see, they can feel, they can experience it firsthand.
We find that many of our young people don't really have an appreciation of their own heritage and of the heritage of Milton Keynes. So that can be a really inspiring experience for them as they learn to look at their own landscape and buildings differently.
I think the sense of community is the most difficult thing to create. The knowledge, the understanding, the appreciation of the heritage is something which is hugely important, potentially, to every single resident.
If we didn't have the heritage organisations and facilities in Milton Keynes, we would be a poorer city. Arts and heritage really feed the soul. It gives us a sense of pride and what is possible.
Heritage organisations have a valuable role to play, enriching the economy, learning and community. Now, 5 Milton Keynes heritage partners, Bletchley Park, City Discovery Centre, Milton Keynes Museum, Living Archive and Cupra and Newton, have come together as the Milton Keynes Collection to promote heritage and bring in more visitors, share resources and expertise, involve new partners and volunteers. Let's meet the collection. Home of the World War II code breakers, today Bletchley Park is a major visitor attraction.
This was the most secret site in the whole of Britain during the Second World War, and it is unique. Nowhere else in the world is there a place like this.
I think history is fascinating and very important, but it's just an amazing story. It's a history of our nation, it's a history of the survival of the great struggle of the last century.
Through new exhibitions, outreach activities and events, the birthplace of the modern computer is being brought alive for a new generation.
The educational side of Bletchley Park is extremely important, and we have the school groups come here, and it is absolutely right that they should understand the history of this place.
My day at Bletchley Park has been to learn what happened during the war and what people did to crack the code.
It's a really fun day out for the whole family, and we will be coming back again.
The Milton Keynes City Discovery Centre is one of the most exciting places in Milton Keynes to come and visit. It allows you to discover the city, its natural, historical and architectural history.
The extensive archive charts the history of this area and the development of the new city.
We have fantastic key documents like the plan for Milton Keynes, which sets out the ethos of the whole design of the city.
We work with professionals from across the world, and they take best practice knowledge away from here to go and implement it in their countries.
Located on the site of a medieval abbey and near a Roman settlement, the City Discovery Centre also creates learning experiences around its own local history.
You should be able to swing this anywhere around in combat, protecting yourself.
We do everything from Romans, medieval to Stuarts and Tudors, and the kids get an opportunity to work with reenactors but also get an opportunity to enact themselves.
It's better than school because you're at a new place and you're learning better. Very educational and exciting.
So you're going to pass that to our first person. Does that sound nice?
Hello and welcome to the Cupra and Newton Museum in Olney.
A hidden gem in Olney, the museum celebrates the lives of two great men. John Newton, the parish priest, and William Cupra, who lived here.
William Cupra was a poet, translator of Homer, worked with John Newton on the only hymns. John Newton is famous because of the hymn Amazing Grace,
how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me,
which he wrote partly through his experience as a slave trader. And he worked towards anti-slavery with William Wilberforce.
People are drawn from all around the world by Newton's story of conversion from slave trader to abolitionist. But this museum is also an 18th century time capsule.
This museum is important because it is a repository of the town's heritage. People often move into this town and it gives them a feeling of what the place is about, where it's come from and how it's evolved over time.
I didn't know much about William Cupra and John Newton, but I learned a lot from here.
Living Archive believes everyone has a story to tell, and what we do is involve people in collecting those stories and then sharing them.
Hi there, Ron. Hello, Roger. How are you? I saw your car arrive. Oh.
Milton Keynes has led the way in developing living archives across the UK. Hearing people talking in their own voices brings history to life for future generations.
Well, at the Living Archive, we've got these films which start off, that the front of it says a PAG production. There's a pram race and there's a wheelbarrow race.
Yes, anything that was crazy we latched onto.
Over the past 30 years, the Living Archives volunteers have amassed thousands of documents and images.
In this room, we've got our main audio archive as well as our film archive. And these boxes contain photographs, documents, paper, as well as people's personal collections. Recently, we've been involved in the Our Sport in Life exhibition. A lot of what we do is about giving it back to the community so that people can see what we're doing, that we're not just collecting it and putting it in a box and never looking at it again.
Milton Keynes Museum is about how things are used, why they were important, how people lived, and it's a can-do museum.
Located at a Victorian model farmstead on the historic Radcliffe estate, the Milton Keynes Museum offers everyone the chance to step back in time.
It's a very nice experience for the children. It's something that will keep them interested and busy for a whole day.
Milton Keynes Museum is full of almost anything you can think of. Highlights are the telephones, because that involves virtually everybody in its interactivity and discovering how dial works and so on. The street of shops, because they can pretend to be shopkeepers of the past or customers of the past. Children always love the schoolroom. They like to be pupils from the Victorian era. And then I think the parlour, where they can play games and they can also play musical instruments.
It's very interactive, which is good really, because with the little ones, if you can't touch anything, there's not much point on coming along.
Volunteers are involved in every aspect of the museum, sharing their skills and developing new ones.
I enjoy being a volunteer. I think there's so much variety. I mean, you can be talking to the public one minute, but you can be doing research on the objects up here another minute.
We love the job, I love the job, and also give me a connection to meet people, so I'm continuing doing something which I'd like.
We'd like to invite you to support heritage in Milton Keynes. Please get involved. Find out how at our website mkcollection.co.uk.